Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning. I am Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are back for another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about all things U.S. immigration. So, the first thing I want to talk to y'all about is the upcoming mandatory electronic filing for certain USCIS forms. So, this is not, this is coming. It's not coming tomorrow, but it is coming. It will be, I believe we have 60 days until the rule is in effect. And then once it is in effect, it will be mandatory e filing for forms that have been available for e filing for 180 days. So again, it's coming, it's here, but it's not here right this instant, which is a good thing because now we have time to really plan. So regardless of what you think about the USCIS e-file system as it currently stands, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think, it doesn't matter what you think. What matters is that we have time to plan. So do you have a My USCIS account? If you don't have one, then you're going to have to create a company My USCIS account. Who in your organization will set up that My USCIS account? Who in your organization will own that My USCIS account? Who will have access to your My USCIS account? And who will work with counsel through the My USCIS account system in order to e-file your applications moving forward? These are some of the things that you should be thinking about now. If you are a company that typically doesn't file or doesn't enter folks into the H-1B lottery and you've never e-filed before, then you're going to need a My USCIS account. And so, waiting until you are ready to file or waiting until you're up against a deadline is not the time to figure out your My USCIS account or figure out how to create your My USCIS account and create sort of the internal parameters around the use of the account. So I would highly recommend that we create our My USCIS account now, pick one filing, one case that has where you have more lead time than others, and use that as your test case so that you can take your time, figure out the system, figure out what your own internal processes need to be, and work with counsel on that test case so that when the form is mandatory that you have to file it using e-file, that you are up and ready to go and it won't be such a shock. You can I'm recommending that folks just kind of ease their way into e-filing before it becomes 100% mandatory and, you're sort of scrambling. So that is my plug for starting early with e-filing and really thinking about the internal processes that you all will need as companies. The next thing I want to talk about are the final rule for students and international media, but this is really sort of more so for students this morning. International students, as we know, new rule effective September 15th. It takes away the D/S designation as your period of stay. When it is D/S, essentially the student would work with the school would work through SEVIS to extend someone's student status if they needed to, take another year to finish their program, or if they were switching, let's say, from a bachelor's degree to a master's degree. There were things that were done at the school level that didn't require a whole lot. Certainly didn't require a whole new application with the Immigration Service. Now that immigration will be issuing a specific date, usually they say they're going to do 4 years out. I guess under the sort of thought that most bachelor's degrees take 4 years. I don't know if I don't think they're giving us an extension for engineering folks. I know lots of my engineering friends, their programs were 5-year programs. They didn't take an extra year. It was just a 5-year program. So we'll see if that becomes an issue down the line. But this is for my international students. if you're only given 4 years to complete your program and for some reason you need more time, that is not the time to get to know your designated school officer. So the time really to get to know your designated school office is before you step onto campus, before you get there. My international students are already so incredibly organized, certainly more organized than I was when I was in college. So they are certainly more organized. Y'all really are very in tuned with your international student status. You're going to have to sort of be more in tune. So I would highly recommend that you get to know your designated school officer. Go and have a conversation with them the day that you get to campus, introduce yourself, and make sure that you communicate with them early and often to make sure that you are meeting all of the required deadlines, and to, ask them if there have been any policy changes, any policy updates that they need to be aware of that will create an action item for you as an international student. For my employers that are hiring international students, we're going to have to be just as organized as they are when it comes to watching their expiration dates, making sure that if they are transitioning into OPT, that we are helping them to the extent possible make that as smooth a transition as possible. So that is what I have for my international students today. That also applies to international media. You all too are going to get a date certain when you enter the country, no longer D/S. So make sure that you are in constant communication with your media outlet, and make sure that you check your expiration date on your I-94 card as soon as you enter. Your I-94 card will be uploaded online, and you can grab it from online. And the last thing I want to talk about this morning is a travel ban. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of traction in the media, the mainstream media, on this travel ban, but in conjunction with the CDC, Department of State, there has been an Ebola breakout in some countries in Africa. So there was a travel ban on folks that had been present in those countries 21 days, at least 21 days prior to trying to enter the US. So all foreign nationals, everyone except US citizens who are returning home, all foreign national travelers who were present in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Uganda, and South Sudan, 21 days prior to trying to enter the US, you are not allowed to enter the US. You're not allowed to board those flights. That has been extended. It was supposed to expire August 12th. They are now extending it to September 11 of this year, 2026. So if this applies to you, you should know that this travel ban has in fact been extended. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. If you are an international traveler and you have recently, within the past 21 days, been to Democratic Republic of the Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan, you are currently under a travel ban in terms of entering the US. That is all I have for this Monday morning. If you've got any questions about electronic filing, or you've got questions about being an international student or hiring international students, or the travel ban, feel free to reach out. We are happy to help, and have a great Monday and a great rest